How many times this week did someone ask for just 15 minutes of your time? A quick call, a coffee chat, a brainstorm session, a pick your brain meeting. And how many times did you say yes? Because here's what happens. You say yes to 15 minutes here, 30 minutes there, an hour over here, and suddenly your calendar is full of everyone else's priorities. You look at your week and you think, when am I supposed to do my actual work? Today, I want to show you how to protect your calendar when everyone wants your time. Not by being rude, not by becoming unavailable, but by being strategic. And that's what we're all about over here at Profit in Presence Co. I'm Lauren Apple, and I am a scaling strategist for CEO parents to help you have both profit and presence. So let's jump right into it today. First, let me tell you why your calendar is out of control. It's not because you're bad at time management. It's not because you don't know how to say no. It's because you've never decided what your calendar is actually for. Most people, they treat their calendar like this empty container. Someone asks for time, you find an empty spot, and you slot it right in. Repeat until the calendar is full. But here's the problem. If you're just filling empty slots with whatever comes your way, you're letting other people decide how you spend your time. Your calendar becomes reactive instead of proactive. And the things that actually matter to you, deep work, strategic thinking, time with family, it gets whatever is left. And usually, that means nothing. So the first shift I want you to make in your reframing today is this. Your calendar is not a container for everyone else's requests. Your calendar is instead a protection system for your priorities. And when you look at it that way, it changes everything. So let me show you how I think about my calendar. I use something I call anchors. You've probably heard me talk about them before. Anchors are the non-negotiable things that everything else gets built around. They're fixed, they don't move, and everything else adjusts to fit them. For me, my anchors include 4 p.m. onwards every day, my laptop is closed, and it's family time. Friday afternoons is time with my teenagers because they don't have school. Sunday is family day, no work. Morning hugs with my kids before school. Wednesday nights, I'm usually at Chick-fil-A or Panera while my teens are at youth group doing some focused work. These aren't preferences. These are anchors that are locked in. My EA knows them, my clients usually know them, my family knows them. Nothing moves these ever. When you know your anchors, you can build everything else around them. When you don't have anchors, everything is negotiable. And when everything is negotiable, other people's priorities win, or you just make choices willy-nilly and you don't end up where you want to be. So step one is this. Figure out what are your anchors. What are the non-negotiables that everything else gets built around? Write them down, make them sacred. Now let's talk about the other categories of time that I gave you here. Category 2 is deep work time. So we have anchors. 2 is deep work time. This is when I do my most important work. Strategic thinking, content creation, client delivery. The stuff that actually moves my business forward. Here's something most people get wrong about deep work. They try to block out 4 hours and wonder why they can't focus that long. That's because 90 minutes is usually the max for true deep focus. After about 90 minutes, your brain needs a transition. A quick walk, a snack, fold a basket of laundry, do something physical. Then you can do another block if you want to and you have the space for it. But trying to power through your 4 straight hours, that's not how your brain works. So I block 90-minute deep work windows. Sometimes you look at your calendar and it's so full and you're like, I can't even start with 90 minutes. Then start with an hour. But 90 minutes is ideal. Usually I do this in the morning when my brain is fresh, no calls, no meetings, no interruptions. This time is blocked on my calendar so no one can schedule into it. If someone asks for a morning call, my EA says she's not available mornings. Here are her afternoon openings. Category 3 is your meeting time. This is when calls and meetings are allowed to happen when your calendar is a protection system. For me, this is Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. late morning to mid-afternoon. That's it. All my client calls happen in these windows. All my podcast interviews happen in these windows. All my team meetings happen in these windows. Because the time is contained, I can batch my meetings and protect everything else. Category 4, buffer time. This is where most people have zero. And it's why they're always running behind and stressed. Buffer time is your built-in margin. It's breathing room. It's space for the unexpected. But here's the thing, buffer isn't just one thing. There are actually several types of buffers you need. First, there's short buffers. These are 15 to 30 minutes before and after calls. Time to prep, time to process, time to capture notes and next steps. If you schedule calls back to back, you never have this. You show up unprepared, you leave with action items swirling in your head that don't actually get completed. Short buffers fix that. Second, there's weekly buffers. This is a morning or afternoon block where nothing gets scheduled. It's your catch-up time. Time to actually get things done that don't fit in 90-minute deep work blocks. Admin, follow-ups, the random stuff that accumulates. I protect at least 1 or 2 of these blocks every single week. When something runs over, when something unexpected comes up, I have margin to handle it. Third, there's post-travel and post-holiday buffers. This one is crucial and almost nobody does it. After you travel, you need at least half a day, sometimes a full day of buffer. After holidays, the exact same thing. Time to catch up, time to process, time to get back into your rhythm. If you schedule calls the morning after you fly home, you're setting yourself up to be behind for weeks. Build in the recovery buffer. Fourth, there's quarterly buffer weeks. This is something I started doing and it changed everything. Once a quarter, I have a week where I only take calls 1 or 2 days. The rest of the week is for big catch-up. The projects that got pushed, the strategic thinking that needs more than 90 minutes, the cleanup and organization. It's like a reset for your business. You'd be amazed how much you can accomplish when you have a full week that's not chopped up by calls. So let me ask you, do you have short buffers between calls? Do you have weekly buffer blocks? Do you have post-travel and post-holiday buffers? Do you have quarterly buffer weeks? If not, that's probably why you feel behind all the time. Now let me give you one more game changer. Pre-decisions. You've probably heard me refer to this before. We've talked about this in a previous video, but it applies massively to calendar management. Pre-decisions are decisions you make ahead of time so you don't have to make them in the moment. For your calendar, this means daily and weekly prep time. Here's what I do. On Sunday, I look at my week. I identify my MITs. These are my most important tasks for the week. I decide when each one is going to happen and in what order. I prep mentally for what's coming. By the time Monday morning arrives, I'm not starting from scratch. I'm not staring at my calendar wondering what to do. I already know, I already decided, I just execute. Same thing daily. At the end of each workday, I take 5 to 10 minutes to look at tomorrow. What are my MITs for tomorrow? What do I need to prep for? What decisions can I make now so tomorrow me doesn't have to? This daily and weekly prep time is a buffer in and of itself. It's the transition between what should I do and I know exactly what I'm doing. When you sit down to work and you're starting from scratch every time, you waste the first 15, 30, 60 minutes figuring out what matters. When you've already prepped, you hit the ground running. Now let me give you some tactical strategies to help you with your calendar. Strategy 1, block your priorities first. Before anything else goes on your calendar, block your anchors, your deep work time, and your buffers. Actually put it on your calendar. Label it anchor, family time, deep work, 90 minutes, buffer, weekly catch up. Make it visible, make it real. When someone asks for time, those blocks are already taken. You're not deciding in the moment whether to protect them. They're already protected. Strategy 2, make it harder to get on your calendar. Most people make it way too easy. Their calendar is wide open. Anyone can book anything at any time. And then they wonder why they have so many meetings. Instead, add friction. Limit your scheduling link to specific hours. Instead of anytime Monday through Friday, make it Tuesday and Wednesday and Thursday, only in these blocks. Require information before the call. What specifically do you want to discuss? What outcome are you hoping for on this call? This filters out the I just want to chat requests. Have a gatekeeper. My EA manages my calendar. He asks questions, he protects my time, he says no so I don't have to. This is honestly one of the best things about having an EA. I don't even see most requests, he handles them. Strategy 3, create alternatives to meetings. Not everything needs to be a call, okay? Ask yourself, could this be an email? Could this be a LIM video? Could this be a voice message? Could this be an async instead of real time? I've eliminated probably 60% of calls just by creating alternatives. A client has a question? Send me a Voxer message. Someone wants to pick my brain? Here's my email list. Potential client wants to learn about working together? Here's a video explaining my services. Every alternative you create protects calendar space. Strategy 4, batch ruthlessly. Don't scatter meetings across your week. Batch them into specific days or time blocks. All client calls on Tuesday and Wednesday. All internal meetings on Thursday. All podcast interviews on the first week of the month. When you batch, the rest of your calendar stays clear. You're not context switching all day, every day. You have dedicated time for meetings and dedicated time for everything else. Strategy 5, have criteria for what gets a yes. Not everything should get a yes. Not every request deserves your time. You need a filter. Without a filter, they all get yeses. So here's mine. Does this directly serve a client? They get a yes. Does this directly generate revenue? Most likely a yes. Does this align with my current priorities? Maybe, potentially a yes. Is this someone wanting to pick my brain for free? Usually, no. Is this a networking call with no clear purpose? No. Is this a meeting that could be an email? No. Having criteria means you're not deciding from scratch every single time. You have a filter, you apply it, you answer. Let me tell you what happened when I implemented this. 3 years ago, my calendar was a disaster. Calls scattered everywhere, no protected time, no deep work time, 0 buffers. I was constantly in meetings and never actually getting work done, which in turn made me scattered and reactive and not what I wanted to be when I showed up at home or in business. So I did everything I'm teaching you here. I set my anchors first. I created 90-minute deep work windows. I batched all my meetings into specific days and times. I added short buffers, weekly buffers, post-travel buffers. I started doing quarterly buffer weeks, built in daily and weekly prep time. I got an EA to manage it all. The result? I went from 25 or more hours of calls and meetings a week to about 10. I have 90 minutes of uninterrupted deep work every single morning. I close my laptop at 4 p.m. and I don't think about work until the next morning. I never feel behind anymore. And my business, it grew because I finally had time to be strategic instead of just reactive. The less time I spent in meetings, the more I accomplished, which makes sense when you think about it. Meetings are where you talk about work. Deep work is where you actually do the work. Which one do you think moves your business forward? Here's what I want you to do today. Identify your anchors. What's non-negotiable? What does everything else get built around? Write them down. Pause this video if you have to. Identify those anchors. Then I want you to block those on your calendar starting next week. Anchors first, then 90-minute deep work blocks, then your meeting windows, then your buffers. Next, I want you to identify which buffers are you missing. Is it short buffers between calls? Is it weekly catch-up blocks? Is it post-travel or holiday recovery time? Is it quarterly buffer weeks? Add at least one new buffer this week. And then I want you to start daily and weekly prep. Sunday, look at your calendar, identify your MITs, your most important tasks. Each evening, prep for tomorrow. Pull out a blank sheet, put bullet points on them so that when you sit down to do the actual work, you can get started right away without having to focus or context switch. Stop starting from scratch. And then I want you to update your scheduling link. Limit the availability to your meeting windows only. Add friction, require information. If you want help setting this up, if you want an EA who protects your calendar like it's their job, that's what my direct to hire placement is all about. We find EAs who understand that protecting your time is serving you, who will say no to the 4:30 call even when you're tempted to say yes, who will manage your calendar so you don't have to think about it. The link to that is in the description below. And if you want more frameworks like this, I send this stuff out in my email list every single week. Real strategies for CEO parents who want profit and presence. Link for that is also in the description below. Your calendar is not an empty container. It's a protection system. Start treating it that way. Thanks for watching. We will see you next week.